Good morning. This is Pastor Rick Bliese, and welcome to the Sunday Forum here on May 24th at Emmanuel Lutheran Church. I'm here with Theresa Shaw, and we're lifting up a very important theme this morning, and that is Emmanuel's mission. Emmanuel's mission and its commitment to serving the neighborhood. You know, this congregation has a long history of serving the neighborhood, both directly as a congregation, but also through our support of various organizations in the neighborhood. And we want to talk about them this morning. And especially, I think now, Theresa, because during the COVID-19 situation, this mission has even intensified. And so we want to talk about all our partnerships. Now, this morning, we're going to talk about just 5 because of the limitation of time. But Theresa, we have a lot more partners in the neighborhood than just the 5 organizations that we'll be talking about this morning.
Rick, we do. There are so many others that are not listed on here. And it means so much to our community for them to receive the support. We volunteer. We do so many things. So this is where we use our time, talents, and our treasures.
Right, so it's part of our stewardship as a congregation.
It is.
Now, this morning we have these and other partners, but we only have time this morning to lift up 5. And we want to start with St. Matthew's House. This is a ministry actually that we helped form many, many years ago here at Emmanuel. St. Matthew's House, when I think about this, Theresa, the first thing that comes to my mind are casseroles. So obviously there's more to this ministry than casseroles. Tell us about
it. It certainly is. St. Matthew's House provides a lot of things and a lot of safe haven for people who need shelter. They have a mobile pantry. And speaking on the casseroles, I don't know whether those of you who are watching know that over the years, I mean, we probably provided over 50,000 casseroles.
Well, I knew it was like 50 a week, right?
Yes.
So if you, 18, 19 years, that's almost 50,000 casseroles. Think about that.
But, you know, with the COVID now, unfortunately, in speaking with St. Matt's, they are no longer able to take the casseroles at this time.
Okay, why not?
Only because, we're trying to make sure that people are safe. Okay. And so you have people that want to come and drive and drop off. So they want to just make sure that our volunteers are being, safe and cautious.
Well, thank you. The work of St. Matthew's House then continues. But let's move on to another organization that has done great work and that we've supported. We have many volunteers in our congregation who really feel a call, a vocation to help out Grace Place. I went to Grace Place, Theresa, I want to say 4 or 5 months ago before COVID-19 and saw their work, saw their new facilities, and it's impressive. Not just the facilities, but boy, are they organized. They get things done.
Yes, they do. And I was a part of that too. I was able to go over and see all of they have new classrooms, a new kitchen area, and it was simply beautiful. As you know, Grace Place puts faith into action by providing a pathway out of poverty, by educating children and families. So they do so much for the families. And also they have a pantry as well. And they have over 200 people coming each week to get some of the foods and the necessities that they need to.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spur of the moment here, Theresa. I remember when I was there, I know you've been there many, many times. It seemed like the facility was packed every time I've been there with not just kids, but adults. How many kids, do you know how many kids that they service per day?
Well, I think it's over now, probably about 1,200 kids, because you have to remember, they also go into the school system.
Right.
And they support the school system. They have programs on site, and they also have programs on their site at Grace Place.
We're going to hear later from the Serving Others Committee that will name some of our members who are serving, but we do want to thank those of our congregation who for years have served in this marvelous organization and have often written articles for the Star and other things to keep us abreast of the information. Let's move to now a third organization that has done great work in building houses, and that's Habitat. And, when I first came to Emmanuel, Theresa, I walked in the narthex of the sanctuary and I saw all these plaques
From Habitat.
from Habitat. And how many homes have we sponsored for Habitat over the last many years?
Well, this was going to be our exciting year.
Yeah.
We would have reached 50 homes. I'm sorry, over 50 now. 60 homes. 60 homes. And we have put in probably about $3 million over many years to help those families. And, you know, I just found out, too, that once the families, I was talking and finding out that, I said, well, what if a family pays for that home? What happens? And they said, well, we normally buy it back.
Oh.
Yeah, they buy that home back and put another family in. So that was so interesting to me, how, and they've had over 40 families to be able to pay for that home, continue to keep it up, and to move on in life. And to me, that's just an amazing story for families.
So again, we want to thank the congregation over many, many years for its commitment to Habitat. We're still committed to that big anniversary, 60 homes, $3 million this year. We'll check in again before Christmas to see how we've done.
Now, Rick, I want to say one more thing before you move on.
Okay.
I don't know whether you all know that we have a quilting group. They stitch quilts, and do you know that they give every family at Habitat a quilt every year?
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they do.
That's why you come to the Sunday Forum, to find out these things.
And not only that, they send quilts throughout the world. So we do so many things that people aren't aware of. But not only do we help people locally, but we also help them all throughout our entire world. So just wanted to mention that.
I'm glad you did. We want to move now to an emerging community ministry, which you all know, of course. It's Emmanuel Community Park. First service will be on Pentecost Sunday. That's coming up next week after this Sunday Forum, next week at the park, our drive-in worship. But this morning, we're not talking about worship. We're talking about how we're serving the community. And we've been doing some very special work out there with a farmer's market. It just began a few weeks ago. And boy, it got real attention on Fox 4 News and throughout the community. And so we thought, well, let's let Fox 4 tell the story about how we're serving the community out at Emmanuel Community Park.
Indeed, is the time right now. You know, fears of COVID-19 can make trips out of your house feel uncomfortable. Many people are finding safer ways to get the things they need, like pickup and delivery, especially when it comes to food. So this morning, Nolani is going to show us a new farm fresh service in Naples that's hoping to help you out.
Good morning, everyone. Since the coronavirus, a crowded supermarket might be the last place you want to be. That's why Emmanuel Community Park says they're teaming up on a new option for fresh produce in Naples. Thursday was their first day with Eldridge's Produce. The park says now every week they'll offer a safer way to enjoy a local farm fresh selection of fruits, veggies, and even eggs. It uses Eldridge's new online farmers market. Customers order and pay online, then pick up at Emmanuel Community Park every Thursday. They say this will help families living close to the park in need of an easier way to shop healthy options.
To be able to come into a location that is more convenient to them, particularly in this time where folks are effectively staying home, it's a great opportunity to stay close by, get produce, but not necessarily have to go into a supermarket.
For extra safety, deliveries are prepackaged with the buyer's name. Customers simply drive up to the curb for their order, then it's placed in their car's trunk. The farmers market pickup is every Thursday from 11 to 4 p.m. at Emmanuel Community Park. You can find the link to order online at fox4now.com. I'm Nolani Matthews, Fox 4 in your corner.
Okay, we want to thank Pastor Will, Deacon D, and Howard Isaacson with Emmanuel Communities for all the work
Congratulations.
they're doing out there. Our our fifth organization that's just doing great work in the neighborhood, and we're supporting them in some pretty dynamic ways, is Meals of Hope. And I think we've got some really good news here, Theresa.
We do. Meals of Hope is one of our oldest and largest organizations in our community. And Meals of Hope is doing a wonderful job. Everybody thought that, Meals of Hope is a food pantry, but they come out, and right now they have 10 locations where they go weekly, serving over 2,000 people a week with food. And Emmanuel Lutheran Church, because of your support, we were able to give Meals of Hope $25,000.
Oh, wow.
And what we did, there was a group of concerned citizens. I just want to tell you the story. There was a group of concerned citizens and professionals who really wanted to get involved. And they said, what can we do? And so I said, well, why don't we leverage what Emmanuel Lutheran Church has done and to continue to raise money for Meals?
So what happened?
Well, from our $25,000, we're almost up to $50,000.
So through leveraging our contributions,
Yes.
Another was a grant.
Another $25,000. This money comes from organizations in the community, individuals who want to give back, and some of our professionals who also want to give back also contributed, and so we're really excited.
Well, in fact, so is Meals of Hope excited.
They are.
Of course, they've had a long time relationship with us. Many watching today have helped in the Family Life Center as we package meals together. But the head of that organization wanted to join us today to say a word of thanks.
My name is Stephen Popper. I'm the CEO and president of Meals of Hope. Meals of Hope is the largest food pantry provider in Southwest Florida, and we can't thank Emmanuel Lutheran Church, the community leaders, and other churches for your continued support to help us feed our neighbors. Meals of Hope operates 9 to 10 food pantries on a weekly basis, and at these food pantries, families are able to get frozen food, canned goods, dry goods, fresh produce, adult incontinence products, and feminine hygiene products. We feel that the value that a family gets is about $90 worth of groceries each and every week. We encourage them to come on a weekly basis. And right now we're serving over 2,500 families on a weekly basis. That's a tremendous growth. Just in the last 6 weeks, we've had over 100% growth, and the need continues to go, and we are serving more families each and every week. Again, we can't thank you enough. We cannot do to help our families without your support. So again, thank you so much to Emmanuel Lutheran Church, all the other churches and community leaders that are participating with them to help feed our neighbors. Thank you.
Oh, that's marvelous to hear. That's just marvelous to hear. Thank, again, the whole congregation for its commitment to this and all the other partners that we have in the community. You know, Theresa, I think one of the things that has really helped us as a congregation to focus on serving the community, one is you're helping us focus and getting our assets and our people focused out into the neighborhood. But we have a marvelous committee, the Serving Others Committee, and they've been working for years and have done excellent work in, channeling all our focus in many of these ministries. And so we wanted to have the chair, Jan Gazdic, who's now chairing that committee, now introduce the work of that committee. Many of you know this committee already, but not everyone. And so Jan, thanks for being with us on the Sunday Forum this morning, and describe the work that you do and the work that the committee does for us here at Emmanuel Lutheran Church. So let me start by just asking you a question about the committee, because some people know about the work of the committee because they read the Star or they're involved in one or more of the projects, but not everybody. So if you could help us, what is the overall mission of your committee, the Serving Others Committee?
We have a mission statement, Rick, and that's to share God's love through action with a focus on assisting those who need food, shelter, medical care, and basic life skills.
Jan, always good to see you. Describe the work of the committee, both in season
and now out of season? And which organizations do we support in the neighborhood?
We work with a small group of select faith-based organizations, Theresa, such as Grace Place, Habitat for Humanity, St. Matthew's House, and Village of Hope Haiti, among many others. They have the structure, skills, and programs so we can more easily support them with volunteers and financial resources. We have focused on local organizations, primarily in Collier County, so that we can better serve our geographic area. Our actual work consists of communicating to the congregation the needs and activities of the organization, such as scheduling temple talks, supporting fundraising events, providing volunteers, putting articles in the Star and the monthly newsletter, giving financial support directly from the church, church members, and others that we can reach. We have activities such as casseroles prepared by church members and delivered to St. Matthew's House, Grace Place activities supported by volunteers, and supporting building for Habitat houses, fundraisers, paper beading group that actually makes the paper beads and makes jewelry, and we have sales within the church that then support the Village of Hope Haiti. We have volunteers who pick up donated bread pastries from Panera and deliver to St. Matthew's House.
I think you do that yourself, don't you?
Yes, I do. We provide support for the Martin Luther King Day parade and festivities and booths in downtown Naples, and the list goes on. There is less activity in off-season than there is on-season, but we do continue year-round. We meet monthly in season, and many of our team members oversee these activities, such as Mark Fiebring oversees Grace Place, John Rasmussen with Habitat for Humanity, Pat Shawless in the Village of Hope Haiti, Carolyn Faust and the casseroles that are delivered to St. Matthew's House, Nancy Nodell and Martin Luther King Day, and I handle the Panera.
How has the COVID-19 situation changed the work of the committee at this time?
It's been very difficult, and the reason for the difficulty is many of these local organizations have either closed or they've changed so much that they're not in a position to be able to handle the level of help that we've provided in the past. So one of the few ministries that we've been able to continue our outreach programs is the donated Panera bread to St. Matthew's House. And we do have a core of volunteers that continue to do that and deliver to St. Matthew's House. Basically, the other thing we've done is try to provide some financial support to the food pantries. And that, unfortunately, is about all we can do between the organizational structure of these, the partners that we have, as well as many of our volunteers in church are senior citizens who do have underlying health issues that really prevent them, even though they want to go out and help.
Right.
Well, Jan, it just appears to me that Emmanuel Lutheran Church is very active in our community. And how might our people at Emmanuel who are not involved get involved in the important work of this community? Of this committee, I'm sorry.
I will tell you that personally, the outreach that this church does and that this team does is one of the many reasons, but main reasons that I joined this church. So I think it's critical and important. And this church is one of the few, I believe, in the area that really reaches out to our local community. What our church members can do is continue to do what they've done in the past, which is contribute financial resources, and they've done this beautifully in the past. And anyone that's interested in joining our team, we would welcome them.
That's wonderful, Jan. So we want to thank you again for joining us for this Sunday forum. And thank you for the work of this committee and your wonderful leadership of the committee. We really appreciate it. Again, we're just so grateful that this congregation is committed to serving the neighbor in our neighborhood, serving the community. And so, Theresa, as you've watched this work, how would you summarize this commitment about our mission at Emmanuel and serving the community?
Rick, most people may not know part of my job here at Emmanuel Lutheran Church is to keep us involved in the community. Our mission says that we are supposed to bring others and we're supposed to help others within our community. So with all of our support to these organizations, Emmanuel is doing a fantastic job. We want to make sure that when people say there's a need, that the name Emmanuel Lutheran Church comes up, because they know we're there to help, to care, and give them the faith, the love, and understanding that Jesus Christ has given us.
Theresa, we just have to thank you on behalf of all of us at Emmanuel for the leadership that you provided. We thank Jan and the Serving Others Committee and many in the congregation. This is a ministry where we really have broad support. And so we want to thank you. Keep these ministries in your prayers, because boy, they're always important. They're always essential, but especially now during this COVID-19 season. And as always, we thank you for participating in the Sunday Forum. Keep us in your prayers, and we are praying for you.